Hey everyone, Frankie here. Today we're going to cook beef and broccoli, which is a Cantonese style dish, but we're going to add a little Frankie twist to it. Now in Cantonese, beef and broccoli is referred to as西蘭花牛肉飯. So let's get straight to it. The first thing you need to do is you need to prepare the rice. So preparing the rice is pretty simple. All you need to do is open up your rice cooker, open up your rice, and for 2 people you prepare about 2 cups. But I'm just preparing some for myself, so I'm only going to make about 1 cup. So I take about 1 cup of rice and about 1 cup of water. So we have 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of water. Now this rice is a Japanese Nishiki rice, which means actually that it doesn't need to be washed. So you just need to stir it around a little bit inside the rice cooker and then turn it on. Okay. So this video, really quickly, is just going to be me preparing a bunch of different ingredients, and you can pause the video in the middle, wait for the rice to almost be cooked, and then once the rice is almost cooked, you can start cooking the beef and broccoli, and then everything will be done at the same time. So I'll let you guys know when to pause the video in the middle. Okay, so let's get back to preparing the ingredients. The next thing you need to prepare is the beef. So we need to slice the beef. But before we slice the beef, we need to tenderize the beef. So since this is a Cantonese dish, we need to tenderize the beef in Cantonese. So let's do it like this. 喂，牛肉仔，我喺度手你陀地啊！我唔會俾啊，吹咩？你唔俾，好啊，我喐你啊，我喐你啊，唔好打，唔好打，俾唔俾啊，俾唔俾啊，唔好打，唔好打，好啊，我俾你2嚿水啊，得唔得啊？梗係得啦，你下次醒定啲啊你。That's pretty much it. Okay. So now we need to cut the beef. So we cut the beef into just thin slices like this. Use your chef's knife. Nice and slim. Take your time, you know, you need to be careful with the knife. Okay. And go back to the other piece here. This much beef should serve about 2 people. Maybe 3 if you want to stretch it. It all depends on how much rice you make, because a little bit of beef and broccoli can go a long way. Okay, now that you cut the beef, you push it down and cut it a second time. Each piece needs to be cut twice, even after it's tenderized. Okay, and you push the beef down and you cut it a second time. Okay, see, each piece, push the beef down. This one you don't need to do it. Go to these ones in the front. Push the beef down and you cut it a second time. This beef's going to be really nice because it's nice and tenderized. It's nice and fatty. Now, this beef is a little bit different than the typical beef you would get at a Chinese restaurant. Why is that? Well, because we're using USDA choice sirloin steak tips, and these steak tips are actually very tasty. So it's a much higher quality cut of beef than you would get from the normal, like a normal Chinese restaurant, or even Chinatown, or even Hong Kong, unless you specifically ask for it. Actually, you know what? I don't even know if they carry this type of this high quality beef at a regular Chinese restaurant. As I said, just keep cutting it in half, nice small pieces. The smaller they are, the faster they're going to cook. So keep that in mind. Depending on what type of stove you have, you might want to cook them slower. You might want to cook them quicker. It's totally up to you. Just use your chef's knife, see, and you can squeeze the beef down nice and flat, and then cut it again. Just like that. Nice and smooth, nice and easy. Okay. Guess I didn't cut these that well because they're all still stuck together. Okay. There's a lot of beef here. This beef actually might be enough for 3 people, definitely. Maybe more. Keep cutting the beef, pushing it down, cutting it nice and carefully. Be careful not to cut yourself. It's best to use a nice sharpened chef's knife, which is what I'm using right now. Okay. Okay. Now that the beef is totally done, you need to put it in a baggie here. So you take all this beef and you put it inside a baggie. It's nice and soft, beautiful. It's going to be nice and tasty like that. Now, after you put the beef in the bag, you're going to put in this mix of sauce that I've already pre-prepared. Now, this marinating sauce here is 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, a tablespoon of water, and a tablespoon of sugar. Now, This is a little bit different than the traditional Cantonese style. I made this with a little Frankie twist. So what's the twist, you ask? Well, I put a tablespoon of Johnnie Walker Black in here as well. So the Johnnie Walker Black is going to add a little tiny bit of a kick to the beef that would normally be there. Okay? And we just want to squeeze this beef inside the bag here, heat it up a bit, and that's it. That's all you gotta do. Now you take this bag and you put it in your refrigerator, and that's it. So the next thing you need to do is you need to cut the broccoli. So I'm switching my knife to a steak knife here, and you're gonna cut the broccoli off. You're gonna cut the big stalk off that broccoli because you don't need that. You could save it and use it for something else. I don't typically do that. But after you cut the stalk off, you're going to see they're going to break up into little trees. It's like a little forest. And then you just turn it upside down and you can cut them off one by one. You don't need a really big stem. You can actually just cut even deeper into here. Might be easier for you. See, now we have a couple here. Put them in here. Put them in the strainer. Now this broccoli was pre-washed, so you need to wash the broccoli before you cook it. It's the safest thing to do. You never know when you buy these vegetables if they're dirty. So it's always the safest thing to do to wash them first. Some of these, let's say this one, you might think this one's a bit big, right? Well, you can just cut it right down the middle. Nice and slow, boom. So you get a little bit less. Take them, you cut them a bit more. Again, pushing aside that. Another little tree here, some more trees here. Some more little trees. This one down the middle here, cut it down the middle again. See, boom, boom. And then you can pull it apart if you want. See, you just pull it apart, it's easy. Okay? Okay? So now, what you want to do now is you want to pause the video here, because what we're actually waiting for is we're waiting for the rice to be done. So the rice won't be done for maybe about 30 to 45 minutes. It all depends on your rice cooker, or if you're cooking on the stove, it might take longer. So you need to pause the video here, wait until your rice is about 8 minutes before it's done, maybe 10 minutes, and then you can start preparing the rest of the stuff before you start cooking. So pause the video here if you haven't already done so, and I'll wait. Okay, so hopefully you guys pause the video and now you're ready to cook. So what the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your broccoli here and you're going to put it in a saucepan on the stove. Now this saucepan has about ½ of an inch of water in it because we're going to steam the broccoli. This is the American way to do it, I guess. So you cover up your saucepan here and you put it on high and you wait for it to be done. So as that is steaming, we're going to turn on our pan here onto high heat, and we're going to add some oil. Now as the pan is heating up and as the broccoli is just beginning to start cooking, what we're going to do is we're going to prepare our sauce. Okay? So now here we go. For our sauce, we're going to need soy sauce, cornstarch, hoisin sauce, salt, pepper, and Johnnie Walker. Or for the traditional Cantonese style, we're going to need cooking sake, cooking wine, whatever you want to call it, mai zao. So here's our little bowl here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. So here's our tablespoon here. Take about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. 1, 2, okay? And then we're going to take about a tablespoon of hoisin sauce. It doesn't have to be heaping because you can always add more later. So I'd say it's about a tablespoon. Put that in there. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Mix that up a bit there. The hoisin sauce is going to stick to the spoon, so you need to mix it really well. Then we're going to need about a tablespoon or less of cornstarch. I say you just put a little bit. That's enough. Put the cornstarch in there. The cornstarch is going to thicken it up, but you need to mix it really well. The next thing you're going to need, to make it a Frankie style, you're going to need some Johnnie Walker Black. Right there, Johnnie Walker Black label. I think I got this one in Hong Kong. Yep, Hong Kong Limited. Shipped it all the way back here. So we'll get about 1, 2, 3, 3.5 tablespoons. Now you're not going to get drunk off of this. For all those girls who are afraid they're going to get drunk off of drinking Johnnie Walker mixed in with this. The alcohol will burn off as you're cooking it. So I'm trying to get all the stuff off this spoon here, all this hoisin sauce. I think I got it all. Alright, so we put the spoon down here and we use some chopsticks to stir it up. Okay, I think that's all stirred up. Okay, so now we're going to take our chopsticks, put them down. We're going to go into our refrigerator I'm going to take out the meat. Now this meat's already been in there for about maybe 15-20 minutes, so it's ready to cook. So we're going to put this here, and now we're going to prepare to start cooking. So we're going to open up our minced garlic. You don't have to necessarily use minced garlic. You can use regular garlic cloves. If you do decide to use regular garlic cloves, then you need to cut them first. Now the garlic is going to be in there. You're going to want to move it around, make sure it doesn't stick. It cooks very quickly, depending on what kind of garlic you use. Now look at that, huh? Nice garlicky. Now the purpose of the garlic is to kind of like season the oil so that it will taste a bit garlicky. Now the garlic looks already burning, so as soon as it started burning, time to throw in the beef. So take the beef out of the bag, and then boom, right on the pan. Okay. Now the beef is going to stick because this is a non-stick pan. If you have a wok, it probably won't stick as much. That's okay, just let it cook. That garlic is burning, that's fine. I have it on high heat, so I'm doing it quickly. Okay, now we look at our broccoli. When it turns bright green, it's done. It's not done yet until it's bright green. So just keep cooking the beef here. Now you see this burning here, don't worry about that because once we add our sauce here, everything's going to be fine. See how beef is starting to look really nice here. It smells really nice. And the beef is almost done. You don't see much red anymore. That's when you throw in the sauce. That looks good to me. So we throw in our sauce now. And after we throw in our sauce, the beef's not going to stick that much anymore. Another thing you want to add is you want to add a little bit of water. I'd say about 2 or 3 tablespoons. And that's going to make everything nice and easy to move. Now you look at our broccoli, look, it looks done. So we take our broccoli, and take it off the heat here, that's done. Nice bright green color. Your spoons around, make it a bit easier. It's important that you always taste your food as you're cooking it. So let's give it a little taste, really quick. It's okay to me. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our broccoli in here. Now you're going to get some water in there too, that's fine. You just cook it until the water comes out. So now our broccoli is mixed in. Mix that around there. Keep cooking it. It's very watery right now, but I did put a lot of starch in there, so it will thicken up before we're done. Turn the burner off for the broccoli. Okay, now the broccoli and the beef are almost done. Just gonna let them cook a little bit more. We're gonna let some of that watery mixture evaporate a bit. I'm gonna taste it a couple more times, see how it tastes, make sure it's okay. Give it a taste. So hot, the spoon is so hot because it's metal. It's pretty good. I prefer a little bit salty, so I'm going to add a teeny bit more soy sauce for myself. It all depends on your taste. Another tablespoon of soy sauce. I'm going to make it a little bit more salty. The idea of this dish is the perfect mix of salty and sweet. The hoisin sauce is the very sweet factor, and the Cantonese soy sauce is the salty factor. And as you can see, look at the dish. Nothing sticking on the bottom because we added the water and added that mixture. Now, to me, this looks a teeny bit too watery. So I'm going to add a little bit more cornstarch. A little bit more than that. Again. Okay, and I'm just going to take that cornstarch, I'm going to mix it in here. It all depends on how you like your beef and broccoli. Some people like it a little bit thicker sauce. Some people like it with a little bit thinner sauce. All depends on your taste. Personally, I want it a bit thicker, so I'm going to let it cook a little bit more until it thickens out. Look at that, huh? Nice and fragrant. 好香啊，真係好香。Still a little watery, so I'm going to let it cook nice and slow. Moving it around so it doesn't stick. Give it one more taste. It's just fine. Finish it off with a little bit of pepper. Give it a little bite. And that's it. Now if you cook it any more, the broccoli might get a little bit watery. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the pan here. We're going to put it in the plate here. Now there's a lot of sauce here, so you need to keep all that sauce. So just kind of scoot off the plate like this, and you won't have to keep all that sauce. Now this sauce has lots of starch in it, so it is going to thicken, but it will take some time. I'll have to cool down a little bit. Look at all that delicious steak. Sirloin steak. We beat them up, we beat the steak up so it's nice and tender. Nice tender beef. Right there, look at that. Now look at all this extra sauce. You want to put some extra sauce? Yeah, why not? Let's put a little bit more. Some sauce in there. Some more sauce. Some more sauce. You don't need to put too much. Some more sauce there. Turn off the burner. And there you have it. Beef and broccoli, Cantonese style, with the Frank twist. So all you need to do here is you take your beef, put it over here. You already prepared your rice. Now this rice is still cooking, but I already did pre-prepare some rice. So I take the rice here, open it up, take a rice spoon, some rice in the bowl here, break it up nice and tastes good. And then you just take a spoon and you serve yourself some beef and broccoli right over the rice like that. Look at that. And there you have it, beef and broccoli. Enough for one right here. Look how much beef and broccoli is still there. There's enough for at least 3 people. And it's so easy to make. All you need to do is take a little bit of time, buy the right ingredients, and follow this video. And you can do it yourself too. Let's give it a really quick taste. Very tasty. Broccoli's too hot. Wow, look at this thing. So hot. The broccoli is very crunchy. It's not soggy at all. It's the right consistency. And the beef and broccoli is a little bit watery. It's just the way I like it. So that's it. So after you're done, you can give the food to your friends. Open up your fridge. Grab a nice Coke. Open it up. Have a drink. And it's as simple as that. So that, my friends, was beef and broccoli Cantonese style with a Frank twist. So stay tuned, and hopefully I'll make some more of these videos in the future. See you next time.